All right, good evening, everyone. I call the regular City of Prescott Council meeting to order Monday, July 10th. It's a little bit after 6. Roll call, Maureen.
Here.
Dar.
Here.
John. Here. Lindsay.
Here.
And we have Pat's on his way. Everybody please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comments. Council will receive public comments on any issue related to the agenda. Limited discussion by the council may take place. Hearing none. Next item is consent agenda. Tourism Committee minutes from June 5th, council meetings from June 26th, general fund balances for June, cash balances for June, and paid invoice report for June.
Motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 5.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion on the motion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Reports of standing committees and commissions. Nothing for Finance Committee. Planning Commission next meeting is Monday, August 7th at 6. Parks and Public Works, next meeting is Monday, August 21st. Canceled meeting was July. Health and Safety.
Wait, Rob, is that, my agenda says the council?
Yeah, it's backwards.
Oh, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Did you see that it was backwards, Matt? But the canceled meeting was
So,
Monday,
yeah,
August 21st.
yep, so the next meeting's July 17th, and do I have?
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so next meeting's July 17th, and the council meeting's Monday, August
Yeah, I read
21st.
that
Oh,
wrong then.
okay.
I stand corrected.
I read it the same way. As she did.
That'll happen.
As she did and as you did. We all read it.
All right, thank you. Health and Safety, canceled meeting Monday, July 10th. Next meeting is Monday, August 14th at 5 o'clock. Personnel, next meeting is Wednesday, August 2nd at 5.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can I say something about personnel?
You certainly can.
Okay, thank you. We're doing performance evaluations at this time of the year, and council will be receiving a questionnaire to fill out as we did last year, and you also, Mayor. So I would like to have those back to me by July 31st, and they are confidential, and only I will see, you don't have to sign them. But if I know your handwriting, I'm the only one that's seeing it. The personnel meeting in August will see a compiled, just
Okay.
When are you sending those out, Maureen?
like tomorrow or whenever Matt, I sent them to Matt. If
Okay.
he has any questions,
Okay.
he can send them back. And Matt and I haven't discussed whether we're going to do the department heads as well yet, but we'll have that conversation, and that may go out as well.
Okay, thank you, Marie. Next item on the agenda is communications and new business. Public comments. Council will receive public comments on any issue not related to agenda items. Limited discussion by the council may take place. However, no action will be taken on any item, including receiving written requests, documentation, and possible action at a future consideration. Okay, hearing none. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 38-23, approving 2 change orders for 911 Pearl Street at a cost of $12,550.11. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. So back in 2021, the city of Prescott purchased 911 Pearl Street. This was an order At the time, that building was being sold, and we wished to not see the food pantry being removed, because that was the opportunity that if a new owner came in, they could terminate that agreement. So we wrote a community development block grant to the State Department of Administration, and we were lucky to receive that. We got 2 amendments to that award that ended up raising the amount that we received to $1.6 million. As part of that agreement, when we first started this process, the DOA did, or the Department of Administration did, require the city to pay up to $25,000 for the project. This was back again when that original application was submitted. We ended up awarding the bid to Market & Johnson for a total amount of $1.2 million. So currently we have approved change orders 1 and 2. Those are listed in your packet in the memo. Change order 3 was a zero cost change order. It was just the type of material that was used for flooring in the food pantry building at 911. So the 2 additional change orders that are before you tonight, there's one for $4,475. This is for all labor, material, and equipment to excavate and lower the existing manhole structure. This manhole structure is the one that where you see off Pearl Street entering the food pantry, it goes down. We had to, in order to make that a seamless transition, we ended up having to excavate that and lower it down, so there wasn't a big manhole lip that you'd have to cross over. The second change order that is being requested is there was a considerable amount of money that had to go into for cost, labor, material, and equipment to relocate the existing main gas line and excavate it to grade for the parking lot. This was a total cost of $8,074.80. This was in the bid documents that was required for us as the owner to pay as part of their work to be done. So altogether with these change orders and the previous change orders, we will have to have paid $22,103.09. Based on the approved grant contract, the city is still responsible for up to $2,897 in payments even after these change orders. So the 2 change orders tonight that are before you are for $12,550.11. So I'll turn it over to the council for comments and questions.
And so that's coming from the capital improvement plan, right?
Yes.
Motion to approve Resolution 38-23. The 2 change orders for 911 Pearl Street at a cost of $12,550.11.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 38-23. Resolution approving 2 change orders for 911 Pearl Street at the cost of $12,550.11 to the city of Prescott. Are there any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not right. I have to have a roll call for that. It's written right here too, by the way. Okay, Lindsay?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Dar?
Aye.
Pat?
Aye.
Maureen?
Aye.
Okay, now the motion carried. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of City of Prescott Development and Incentive Guidelines.
Thank you, Bear. So in the past, the city of Prescott has used development incentives for multiple projects. This includes the work at UNFI, SV Labs, and Foley, to name a few. We reviewed a sample set of guidelines from Village of Roberts, Wisconsin at our May 8th meeting. So essentially, these are taking those guidelines and shaping them to fit the city of Prescott's. The one, I guess, change between those and this one is these guidelines before you tonight are more broad in nature. They don't just include tax increment financing. They include more of a general, specifically since we have an affordable housing fund, and additionally we do have some land. It's not necessarily that we would always have to just use tax increment financing, so it's just leaving the guidelines open for other options if the council so chooses. The guidelines do lay out the process and everything. Each specific project does have to come before council for review and approval. So this guideline just helps set up the process for staff to review and know and work with council to bring that forward. I'll turn it over to council for comments or questions.
I think we talked about this, or it was the first time we came around. Number 2, A, cash incentive. the city may agree to pay cash incentive to a developer with payments to be made over time as tax increments are generated. So if I understand that in terms that I understand it, what that means is, rather than collect taxes from them, we would not collect tax and they would keep the cash, and it works that way? Is that what I understand that to be?
Essentially, yes, we determine what a project would generate in tax revenue and how much we would be receiving, and we.
So we're not
each-
actually making a cash payment, we're just
Yeah.
giving them a rebate on the taxes?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
No, I think this is a good idea. So I'm glad that it's in place.
I think it's really good to have it in writing.
Absolutely. I'll make a motion to approve the City of Prescott Developmental Incentive Guidelines.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve City of Prescott Development Incentive Guidelines. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have no closed session. Other business.
I have two things. One, just follow up on our sales packet, or whatever you want to call it, from the power company. Just curious as to where we are on that, the promotion or, do you know what I'm talking about? For the property we have for the Sears?
Sure.
Just curious.
The site certification process through Excel Energy.
Thank you.
We have submitted everything and they have reviewed it. They're just waiting. The one last piece that they have to do before we're fully approved and done is they have to shoot some drone footage of the site. So when people are interested, they can send that footage over so they can see like elevation and things like that. So that's the last piece that we're waiting for. But other than that, Excel has fully stated that we will be approved for that site certification.
So that would then be available to go out to other communities or to businesses when? Do we know?
I'd have to check on that. I don't know
Okay.
for sure.
Just curious. There was one other thing, two others. I know several of us received an email from a resident, a family, about parking. And in the email, I think there were some things that they understood that I believe are incorrect. And I was wondering if there's something that maybe the city could do, whether with the paper or on their Facebook page or whatever, to re-clarify some of those things. The person was concerned about residents paying for parking. And so definitely there's that misconception out there that would be part of the plan. And I think what we've talked about is that there's ways around that. And maybe whether responding to that person in that email or putting it out there on Facebook or with the paper or on the city side or whatever else, just maybe an update of where we are.
Well, and the other thing, Pat, is that we, when we're looking at this as an option to offset parking overflow, among other things, was that we also were going to bring this to the public.
Yeah.
And involve them.
And
I don't think people realize that that's something that's
Right.
important to us.
And
if we're
I'm
moving
sure,
forward with
I'm
this.
sure the word is just getting around, and I know how people run with stuff.
And all the information is on the city website.
Yes, it is, I know.
I believe they commented that what they've read in the paper.
Which I went looking for and
being in
didn't
the
find.
paper.
I went
But that's
looking.
what they commented.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how long ago they read it or whatever, because the stuff I read in the paper seemed to be correct or true to what we've discussed in committee or other things like that. So just a thought. And then lastly, we talked about the riverfront development, next phases or whatever, and that some of that maybe could be paid with TID money. Is there an expiration on that TID money?
End of February 2025 is the final
So
expenditure.
year and a half out, basically.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I also have a question. My townhouse complex is going to look into solar for the residents because this looks like a good time with there are some incentives coming down from the federal level. And And I was also informed at the state level. And I thought maybe this might be another time to look at putting solar on the city and the school, and as a combined effort within Prescott to make it more affordable. The last time we looked at this, it wasn't affordable, even with all those entities going into it. But there's a lot of incentives, and also for our business park, there's some incentives for green building as well in the new federal regulations.
I think that we're not eligible for the incentives at the city level.
Oh, that might be true.
I believe that it is.
That they wrote us out? Now, why would they do that?
Just saying.
Keep us
I
on
mean,
the
because
call.
we did look into it, and it
Once-
wasn't cost-effective for us because we weren't eligible
But
to
there-
take advantage of that.
There are new ones out.
But there are new
Maybe
ones
it's worth
coming
another
down
look.
the road, and I'm just like,
It's worth looking into.
yeah, I think so.
Especially
Go ahead,
if we're
Matt.
looking at new city buildings, I mean, this is 10 to 15 years from now, but
Just a quick update on the downtown parking situation. So right now, we're finalizing that plan that we last talked about at our last workshop. So we don't have anything yet on our city website, just to clarify that. We have.
but it's in the minutes.
Correct,
from-
yep. So we are now working on our last piece, and we're going to be bringing that to the next council meeting, is a downtown parking implementation and communications plan that we'll be bringing to you to discuss. I won't be at the next meeting, but Carter, our city planner, will be presenting that and go over the details, and it will lay out what we propose for guidelines in terms of rolling it out, having a public hearing so that citizens can come in, give their opinion. It will also have an informational meeting that we'll be having with downtown businesses, and it will lay out all the steps that we're proposing to go through before it would be going to council for final approval and vote. So you'll be getting that next meeting for consideration and discussion.
Thank you.
What's the date on
July 27th?
July 24th.
You want to comment on the grant that we did not receive, Matt?
Oh,
So there were actually two grants recently that were heard back that we did not receive. The first one was the Scenic Byways grant that we had proposed, a trail or sidewalk connection from downtown all the way up to McGee Park, and we were using the Scenic Byways because it specifically focuses on the Great River roads and making connections along there. That was through the federal department, or Federal Highway Administration. We scored very highly, and they recommended that we apply again, but we ultimately did not receive the one that we just applied for. Additionally, same story for the Wisconsin Transportation Alternatives Program. We applied for an underpass under Highway 10 to connect the St. Croix Bluffs neighborhood over to the other side, I guess you say the main part of Prescott along, I believe it was Canton Street there. Again, they said we scored very highly, and in fact, they said we only missed out by a few points, but they recommended that we apply for that again as well.
can they give us any more feedback on why we didn't score higher? Because if we can improve our numbers on the scoring, that would be great. I used to call them, like, when the organization I worked for got rejected, we would always have an after conversation, and then, like with the state highway, the Fed highway program, the way that used to work is you just sort of got in line and your score improved over the couple of years, because they're mostly,
Persistence.
yeah, persistent, and they also say, well, it's not your turn, it's Tennessee's turn this time. You know, they just push the states on those grants. So I would try to get a little bit more feedback if you could.
Sure. We did have that discussion actually with the Federal Highway Administration. We just heard about the TAP grant last week, so that's something we can reach out to
Yeah.
the Wisconsin Department of
Yeah.
Transportation and discuss with them about.
So we can have Cedar Corps write that grant again, or?
The Scenic Byways grant, we're going to bring to Parks and Public Works Committee to discuss if we want to write it again. And then the Transportation Alternatives Program underpass, we were going to move forward with, since all the information is pretty much going to be the same, applying again.
Are those like, they come around once a year right now, or is it, how does that?
The TAP program is once a year, but the Scenic Byways actually went through a long period where it was unfunded, and then last year it was funded, and for some reason they're opening up another funding cycle now again this year.
Okay,
It used to be every year.
okay.
And from my understanding, that was one of the grants, the scenic byways was one of the grants we received as part of building the Freedom Park Center.
Yeah. And they, we got, the Oberstar would just call us and ask us how we wanted to spend $500,000.
Any other business?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
A motion second to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.